Hello. Thanks for joining, everybody. So, it's always weird when I have to do recorded videos rather than live stream, because with live stream it's interactive. You do your thing, you be yourself, and with recorded videos, it's a little trickier because there's no one to bounce off of, no one to work with. So, bear with me as I muddle through this. I need this on YouTube though, because it's half information session, half distribution. And it's a big thing coming up here, being all about it's October 1st, it's 2020. It's 2020. And we're hitting a full moon today. Happy full moon, everybody. Officially rolls around at 3:05 p.m. if you're in the Mountain Daylight Time, sorry. Full moons. Let's start there. The full moon itself is an apex point. It's much like when the pendulum is swinging back and forth and back and forth. It eventually has to hit a point where motion maximizes to a final pinnacle point, and then everything swings right back in the opposite direction again. And it's that energy of that weight of that moment that causes most of us to go so crazy like this. Whether it be subconscious, whether it be gravitational pulls, whether it be illumination problems, who cares? Ask any medical officer, any police officer, any sales clerk, honestly. You can ask any level of individual or any level of employee that works with individuals on a regular basis, and they'll tell you, full moons, people are just different, very different. And that's the fun of it. We know that every 28 to 29 days, we're going to be dealing with everybody in a wild and unique state. The energy's more increased. We feel a little bit more empowered and within ourselves. We are overwhelmed with the energy of the moment. And that's what I love about the full moon itself. It brings us to, when it's full, it brings us to that heightened and almost beautiful state around us. Now, this is good or bad, depending how self-aware you are with it. If you're much like me, a wizard that just rolls with the flows, it's a wonderful time. You absorb it in, you play with it, you dance with it, and you see what comes out in the end. If you're like some other individuals where there's resistance and argument against such flows, these days tend to be the toughest one, because it draws out a part of yourself that you might not necessarily feel like expressing. It calls to an inner nature of yourself that you may not feel like you want to be a part of. And so you have to make sure that you're looking at what is the potential of the moment, what is the desire of the moment, what is the energy pushing you towards, so that you can then use it properly, use it appropriately. A lot of it would really be how in tune you are with that subconscious self. One person once said to me that the full moon is when it feels like their subconscious takes over and they just become everything that they feel deep down within themselves. And I kind of like that as a thought process for this. Now, full moon itself applies a forced energy, a forced interaction, and typically centered through whatever lenses and celestial bodies it's sharing through and around. This is where you can identify some of the spiritual connotations that may come along with it. So this full moon here on October 1st is a full moon in Aries. Now, Aries energy, just as a quick recap, centers around identity, self, the energy of confidence of self, so you can express an identity and express a form into the world. It's cardinal zodiac sign for fire. It's as an energy form, it's the first house in the entire zodiac spread. So it's that's the launch point, initialization point, trigger point towards next process, next step, next duty. This makes Aries, in a lot of ways, a very intense energy, because it's that first newborn cry, trying to figure out what sounds elicit what responses, what actions bring about what results, and needing to be very, very self-aware of how one is operating and functioning to ensure that you are maintaining a good and consistent throughput of the results that you want. Most Aries that I know, they're very fixated on what it is that they want, what they desire, their direction, their focus, being a very, very crucial part of themselves. And the energy of Aries applies that against a lot of us. It makes us become very hyper aware of our own identity, of our own self, of what we really want to be. And in adequately placed placements, in good tunings, this really allows a person to kind of catch a sense of themselves through certain elements and certain experiences. In poor tunings, it can be encouraging chaotic, mischievous behavior, depending on how the person wants to work it. That gets into aspects. Everybody's a little bit different when we get down to those levels. And it's hard to... I'm careful with aspects because it comes to be a tricky power, a tricky execution of what a person might be, might face, might deal with. You never want to make a person, never want to live another person's life, as it were. Now, with this combination, the stage is set that we have a moon, full and bright, and beautifully clear in the sky, positioned in the zodiac sign of Aries, looking down and placing out this energy of identity and creation of self. But the scene is not entirely set yet. See, this particular full moon is extra special. And the reason for that is this. This Aries and full moon is the first full moon of October. The second full moon of October being October 31st, Halloween night. Heck yes. Heck yes. A Saturday, a full moon. What more could we ask for? Furthermore, I like the number play. I always love my numbers. We've got 1 and we've got 31. It's not really a 31-day cycle. It's a 29 point something something. But it works out just rightly that it makes it 1 and 31. So it feels like 31 days. 31, reversal of 13. 13 is my personal number. It was Friday the 13th that we went into daylight savings time. And a lot of people are like, well, that's when everything went all fucky with the world. And, you know, that's fair. That's fair. Did you know that daylight savings time ends right after Halloween? Sunday morning at 2 a.m., in fact? The joke that this is the reset is a little bit... It's a Bob Says Hi. It is a joke, yes. Because Cosmic is going to work in a joke because it's going to make you all pay better attention at the end of the day. What are the odds? What are the chances? What are the quinky dinks? So big things are supposed to come with this. Right now, the moon's also sharing Aries with Churron, which people have already capitalized on. Yes, the extra healing, the extra good, the extra power, the finding the wound within self to fix the identity and work that energy together into good creation. Absolutely. Mars in Aries, yeah, used properly, another really good energy waveform because there you're getting that oomph and that fight to fight for yourself and be your true self and fight for your own identity, expressing yourself with that fierceness. But what about Lilith and Aries? Do you really take the time to sit with your shadow just as much as you sit with your conscious self? And if you don't do so, what happens when you ignore your dark side? It'll run away on you. So we have a huge, huge stage set up for the quest of identity, the quest of self, the quest of expression of self. Know thyself. Not just on a personal level, consider it on a community level. Consider it on a national level. Consider how deeply your identity runs in your culture, your customs, your activities. I love hearing the stories about the tribes where if you go down and eat with your left hand, they're going to kick you out of the tribe, make you go eat by yourself because your left hand's where you wipe your ass with. But that's their custom, that's their tradition. Well, we don't do that where we come from. Yes, but they do. And they will express that identity with a fierceness. They will dismiss you. And it is much in that same dynamic some people are going to have to do during this full moon. Dismissal of energies that you know aren't going to serve you and aren't going to help you be your true self. For some people, that's breaking away from an abusive relationship, finding the strength to finally cut free, and all the power to you. For others, that's having to recognize that certain family ties don't matter anymore. And that hurts. But if it's for your identity and it's for your expression of identity, then I fully expect that you're running the Aries full moon properly. You're expressing that quest and the development of self clearly. Now, those other three that I was talking about that are sharing Aries right now. Churron, the wounded healer, that's bringing up what in our own past and what our own self causes us that harm. It's helping us to be aware of what ails us from the inside out. Churron's a centaur creature, a healer, great capability, wounded and injured and just kind of suffering his way. However, he can still help others even though he is wounded. He can still bring his healing magic into the lives of others. And so, even though there may be a bleed in ourselves, we can still do some good for the greater whole of ourself, or others, or community. And through that service, we may invite back that healing to ourselves as well. It's a reciprocation. Engage in that and look at what parts of yourself lessen you, weaken you, tear you down. Listen to your soul very carefully on that. And listen to both sides of your soul, your shadow as well. The Lilith. My interpretation of Lilith is this. She reveals to ourselves our inner monster, our inner struggle, our inner fierceness, displays that which might be our undoing through our complete denial of other for self. I see Lilith as a challenge point where the shadow resides and feels most comfortable. Kind of like the neglected child that will burn down the entire community in order to feel a little bit of warmth. And it's there that we have to find that respect and that healing as well. Now, Lilith and Aries is going to do one of two things. It's either going to really highlight for you what you don't like about yourself, and just big little magnet right in front of your fucking face, and just don't like that one. Or it's going to encourage your darker side to come out and play. A liberation of sorts. If you're stuck in the self-reflective process, I wish I could help you more. If you're stuck in the letting your wild side out, I say this, all things in moderation. Things taken to excess tend to do destruction. All things in moderation. Lilith is showing you where you want to burst out. Don't use it as an energy to destroy yourself or destroy others. Use it as an energy to liberate yourself. The only reason why we become monsters is because others cage us, whip us, and torture us. There is your line to draw in the sand. You are nobody's pet. And Lilith will make sure that you feel that way over the next little bit. Amplified with the full moon. And then the last one, Mars. Mars is the energy to move forward. He's enhancing all of this. He's pushing all of this. He's encouraging all of this. And it's keeping the focus very firmly on identity, consideration, and expression of ourselves fighting forward. You have to push forward. There's no way away from that. This full moon energy amplifies this all across the world into every aspect of identity in any entity, any person, any place, any business, any country, any city, any state. All of it. And it is only the first full moon of of October. It might as well be 31 days of Halloween at this point. That one. The second one is called a blue moon, and I'll try and have a few things done up before the actual day of, just to prep people a little bit more. But blue moons are known for a particular magic. People coming back into your lives that you haven't heard from forever. Really good spiritual connection openings up. We've also got the Mercury Retrograde coming up partway through October as well, and that has a tendency to bring your exes back into your life as well too. So it's just, there's going to be a pronounced magical state, as it were, in which I imagine manifestation and creation of self is going to be completed. And as we move into the full moon in Taurus, we see then an expression of the resources, the structure, the accumulation, the embracing of the confidence of identity and self, sexuality as well. There's going to be a lot that comes with that full moon in Taurus. Now, prepping for that, I honestly say that everyone should have a tradition for every full moon. I like doing cleansings. Cleansings are always a good one. And so that's what I'm going to half-assedly do here with you guys, because then I can do a little bit for me and a little bit for you. When this full moon pulls in on us, the big thing that we're going to want to make sure is that we are centered and within ourselves, comfortable with ourselves. So this full moon, I want you to consider, what does that comfort feel like and look like and display for you as an energy and as an identity? And then I want you to consider how you can do that again on Halloween and have it still feel like the right ritual, the right identity, the right flow for you. And if you've never done spirituality really before, I don't usually recommend starting up around Halloween, but I'll give you a pass this year. It's a blue moon. Embracing the magic, embracing the flow. Now, I won't say that I do smudging. Reason being is I don't claim that heritage. And so, yes, phrasing. I don't claim that heritage, and so I try not to use the terminology if I can help it. I do cleansing. Traditionally, if you're going to cleanse with sage, trade for it. Trading tobacco to the ground being the first way. But if you trade someone who has traded for it, then you're still keeping in the process of trading back to the earth. Gold coins are not always trade. They're important, yes. They're very, very important, yes. But they're not always trade. Burn it in a way that's comfortable for you. Traditional may not be your way. And if you don't have the claim or capacity to claim, then you can't. But if you just like an incense stick that helps you to feel calm, if you just like the smell of a certain oil to help you feel right, if a certain kitty cat just makes the days feel better, these can all be cleansing ways for you. So, I invite you all as we enter into this wonderful full moon to feel a sense of cleansing over yourselves. Through the moon's light, may it wash over you and wash off any darkness, any pain, any struggles that are ready to be washed away. May it pour into you a fullness of your cup, a fullness of your nature. And from this Cancer to all of you, may this full moon be blessed and pure and good. Just like the smoke rising up, may it carry away all tensions, all pains, and all anguishes. May this full moon be safe and secure, with no hostility and no invasion, with no incurrence of violation. May it be, in all of its ways and all of its things, a lesson, an opportunity, and a bringer of things. Have a happy, wonderful, and slightly crazy full moon, everybody. I know you're all going to do wonderfully. Remember, this is a stepping stone into the Halloween full moon. Remember that on that Halloween full moon, you are coming into an even fuller state of yourself. And I believe that this is only the beginning step in what could be about a year-long process of real transformation all across the North American continent and reaching its tendrils out into the rest of the world. Let's do our best. Be blessed, be safe, be loved, and be well. Bye for now.